business planning is it's my ride or die. We've talked about that. You know that by now. But what some people fail to understand about it, and something that I maybe can communicate better, is that yes, in my world, a business plan means that we map out your whole year. And that's how you get to have the stacking and the compounding and the effect of all of that stuff talking to each other, your messaging, your marketing, and tying it into your business plan. Like, yeah, that is a year plan. But you could be like, all right, what's the plan for this month? And still make a business plan. You could. You really can do that. And that's better than nothing, right? Some of my salons are like, Lexi, I can only work at 2 months at a time. I can only do 2 months at a time. Please don't make me do the whole year. And I'm like, okay, let's meet in the middle and do a quarter at a time, right? Because we can still follow SQ. Now, if you don't feel like doing all of that, like just start with 1 month, sure, but try to like project what you're going to do in the following 2 months, because it helps us to wrap our head around how we circle back so we get all of those touch points that we need. Because on average, we need 17 to 22 touch points in order for people to buy. That means they have to see something, hear something, actually physically see it, see it online, etc. 17 to 22 times. And frankly, I think that stat is probably out of date. I think it's more like 35. So that's a lot. So you got to repeat yourself a whole heck of a lot. That's why in your business plan and in your marketing plan, we tie in all of the ways for client communication and to get those touch points in front of your people. Right? Like that is the whole thing. And so with that, it's like, okay, how could we just do 1 month? Here's like the simplest thing ever. Simplest thing ever. What are you going to talk about and what thing do you want to sell? Just pick the one thing. That's it. Pick one retail item and pick one service or one add-on, one something. That's it. Now talk about it all the freaking time. That's not a business plan, but that's a very, 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 very simplest way to start one, right? Like just start with those few things and then come up with all the different ways you speak about those things. Talk about it a lot. Talk about it often. Talk about it in varying detail. Talk about how you use it, what you do, why your client wants it, why they desire it. Think about all of the desire-driven marketing. Like, it's just that simple, but we overcomplicate it. Now, of course, if you're like, well, I can't even get that far and like that feels overwhelming and I don't know, Lexi, like then you need to look at Salon Quarterly, right? You need a system for this. One of my friends who owns a salon, who is an amazing salon owner, has 2 months of her salon content mapped out at a time. 2 months. Not that hard, but feels daunting, right? Not many of us do that. But there's so much technology that you can just map it out. And that's her posts and her stories. She just repeats mostly the same stuff over and over and over again, following SQ. Like it's really pretty simple. And there's so much tech that can just like do it for you. That is amazing, right? They can't make the content or write the captions. I don't think we should be doing that. I think we talked about this in another video. Like AI can help us a ton, but oh yeah, we did, because we had that whole stat video. But 51% of the internet is all bots. Like you've got to be more human, which we discussed. But you can repurpose your existing content all day long. That would be great. That would be great. Inside of SQ, actually, there is a whole module on how to create your like your sales base, like all of your content base, using AI. It's pretty cool. Actually, like a life-changing, if I don't say so myself. People have been like, what? I didn't know you could do that. Yeah, you can. But anyways, like the whole point is that your business plan doesn't have to be so crazy complicated. You just need to know like where we're going. It's like getting in the car and being like, well, I want to get to New York. New York is the end goal. Great. Where am I? I don't know. And where are we going to stop? Not sure. How are we going to get there? What freeway are we going to take? I don't know. I'm just going to get on one of them and see where I go. Okay. All right. I mean, maybe eventually you're going to get to New York, but unless you have a freaking plan and you know where you're starting from, it's pretty difficult to get there, right? And the same thing goes in the salon. You need a business plan. I keep repeating myself on this because it's super freaking important. It's so important. Like, you've got to come and figure it out. You got to spend the time. You got to be intentional. And if you're one of those people that's like, I've never done it because I don't know how, well, I just gave you how. Like, literally just pick 2 things, 1 product and 1 service, and start there. Just start there. Start talking about it. Map out how you're going to talk about those things and just talk about them. That's not going to give you the compounding effect, but you're going to be able to try it on and see that I can do this, right? I can do this. It's not that difficult. You could map it out. You got to get those touch points in. Now, I don't mean repeat yourself over and over and over again on social. Just say the same thing. That's boring. Don't do boring. You have to come back with desire-driven marketing. But that's why, like, having a system to all of this is the real MVP, because you just rip off and duplicate your own self over and over and over again in a way that meets your clients how they like it. You speak their language, you use the messaging, like all of this stuff all ties together, which is exactly what we've been sharing, right? And there's a couple more other videos talking about this stuff, but it's very, very important that you just start. And I know that, like, so many people say that and it's like kind of cliche on the internet and whatever, but it's not. It's real. Excuse me. You have to just start. You just have to start.